Last Wednesday, my sister went off to college, but it was also the day that online school started, or so I thought. Online school was supposed to start last Wednesday, and I had emailed my guidance counselor months prior and, was constantly emailing. We were emailing each other back and forth about online school. And she told me I have email evidence. And when this gets turned into a YouTube video, I will show the email right here to prove that I am correct because I hate her guts right now. She told me that she knew nothing about virtual classes and that I was successfully signed up for online. She told me to wait because my classes started on Wednesday. Come Wednesday, I don't see any assigned work. I'm like, all right, what's going on here? I just signed in online. There's nothing there. So you know what? I give my guidance counselor an email. I'm like, yo, what's going on here? And she replied, very fast. She was like, my bad, Jonathan. For some reason, you were the only one that wasn't signed up for online, but I'm getting that fixed right now. And I said, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. She said she would email me again whenever, it's fixed and I have my online thingy. A couple emails later, I end up calling her and she on the phone call. Now, I don't have any evidence to prove a phone call, but just take my word that this is what happened, okay? On this phone call, she told me it'll be no problem. I can get that switched up right away. And I said, I don't want to say your name because this woman has done some terrible things, but she said, oh no, I said, thank you, so and so. I really appreciate that. Thank you for switching that over. About half an hour later, we're on the way to drop my sister off from college. So I'm in the car with my sister. I get a call from her, and I'm like, all right, what's going on? What's going on? And she says, all of a sudden, randomly, just, it was switched over. But she goes, hey, so I was wondering if you'd like to come in person, since you're going to do IT class in person, you could also take a college history and college English in person and then just go right over to your IT class. And I was like, no, I I'd much rather do online because it's safer and there's a pandemic going on. I don't want to go to class in person, but you know what? I'd really, appreciate online. And she said, all this she said, okay, but it's not really in my power to switch you to online. I'm like, hold on, what? Hold on. Half an hour ago you switched me to online, and all of a sudden it's not in your power to. I didn't say that to her, but I was like really confused. She said I'm gonna have to ask my boss about that, and I was like, what? So I was like, okay. 10 minutes later, I get another call while in the car. She calls me back. She says, Jonathan, you're just not signed up for online because you didn't complete the paperwork. And I was like, paperwork? What? You didn't tell me about any paperwork. You told me, and I said this word for word. I don't want to sound rude or anything. This was on the phone call. I don't want to sound rude or anything, but over the email, you told me that that you knew nothing about virtual class, and you also told me that I was signed up, and you never mentioned any form of paperwork. And she said, "Oh yeah, but like, it wasn't really my responsibility." And I said, I went in school in person. I went to Wallace Community College. I emailed Wallace, emailed my school, talked to people in person, and all of these people were telling me to email her. I did not tell that to her, but I was like, okay, but like after I said not to be rude or anything, she said it wasn't really her responsibility. She said, "You're about to get a call from," or I don't know, I don't remember specifically what she said, but she hung up on me, and apparently I was supposed to, or her boss was supposed to call me, and I was like, okay. Like 2 minutes later, I get a call, and I call back because I accidentally missed it because I just wasn't on my phone, and it's her boss. Like, I'm talking to big dude. I I don't want to be rude or anything, but education in Alabama is terrible. I cannot stress that enough. The education down here is the worst education I've ever seen in my entire life, and the people are corrupt and horrible. So this dude calls me. This dude who probably doesn't even care about the students or cares about anything but the money. And he calls me, and he's pissed off at me. He's yelling at me over the phone, and he's telling me all this stuff, how it was my responsibility about the paperwork, and how I shouldn't have referred to my guidance counselor for it and stuff like that, and how it's all my fault. And I don't know, she told him a bunch of other lies that were just ridiculous. And I said, but over the email, she told me she didn't know about it. And he was like, well, it was your responsibility to know about it. I was like, how am I supposed to know about something that I didn't even know existed? you know and he was like, I'm tired of your arguing, it should have been your responsibility, blah 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 blah. Long story short, of course, I'm not going to get mad at this guy because I don't want to make the situation worse. But inside, I was pissed off. I was sad, and I was confused, and I was pissed off. And, I apologized. I had lots of manners. I said, thank you for your time. I'm sorry, all this other stuff. And he was like, if you don't get the paperwork in, we're not switching you to online. And I said, okay. He said, you really got to figure this out, man. Hung up. After that phone call, we were on a highway. There were cars. I stepped outside. I sat beside the highway, right on the grass, and I just started crying. I couldn't hold it back. It was really stressful. I was the tears were just coming down. I was crying. There were cars everywhere. It was loud. It was the only thing I could think was, why is this happening to me? Why are people doing this to me? I've worked hard. I make straight A's. Why is my guidance counselor doing this to me? I did nothing wrong. I cried for a while, and I finally found my sister up ahead, and I just got back in the car, and I was just crying. And you know what? She bought me a smoothie, which I appreciate, but it was a lot. Afterwards, I was like, okay, I'm going to do everything that I can to fix this situation. I called so many people. In that car ride, it was 2.5 hours, more than that. I called so many people. I called the school. I called the college. I called other counselors. I called other big people, and all of them responded to me. Well, I don't know what to tell you, or, well, I can refer to you to so and so who might be of help, which they would just repeat the same thing, which that sucks. I don't know what to tell you. At the end of my long phone call chain, I called the superintendent of, the freaking, I don't know, school, state, whatever. I don't know who he was, but I managed to get his number somehow through referral after referral after referral after referral. And I called him. His mailbox was full. I was like, what a surprise, He sent me straight to voicemail. His mailbox is full. Goodbye. Blop. Tried calling again the next day. Mailbox is full. Superintendent probably sucks balls. Same person, doesn't care about anyone, just there for the money. And it was a Wednesday morning too, normal work hours. Not a ridiculously early time, but not a ridiculously late time either. So there's no reason to why, he wouldn't have picked up. And I was crying for a long time. I was really stressed out. I was really frustrated. I was really confused. And you know what? I still haven't gotten this situation fixed 1 week later, and I'm still just as confused, except this time I've talked to my teachers. I've talked to so many people who all don't know what to tell me, because I, I even I even got a copy of the paperwork and I submitted it. I went all the way to the Houston. No, I almost said the freaking name, but I went all the way to the Board of Education, okay? The Board of Education for my freaking district. I submitted the paperwork myself to a secretary who had no idea what was going on. And she was like, "All right, I'll get this to the person that I needed to." It's been like 5 days, have no responses, no emails. I've gotten nothing at all. There's dead silence, which makes me very worried for the situation, because it doesn't seem to be getting any better. We're in the middle of a global pandemic, and they are forcing me to take my classes in person against my will. That is, my guidance counselor, who left me a message, by the way, after her pissed off boss called me. She left me a message. She said, "Your classes started yesterday. You're already behind. Bye." There is nothing I can do, you guys. That's just one of the many things, but that is definitely probably the most stressful one. This is what I was gonna say, you guys. This is what I was gonna say. I was gonna say this. I saw her at KBC, and she knew that I had a job, and she knew that I worked at KBC. And I remember in her message that she left me, I told her, I made a phone call and I was crying to, I don't know, I wasn't crying, but like I was on the verge of crying, and I was like, this is ridiculous. I have a job. I work at KBC. She knows that. I've seen her there. We've talked there. She knows I have a job. Why is she forcing me to do this? And people were just like, I don't know what to tell you, So that's what I forgot to tell you. The fact that my guidance counselor knew that I had a job, saw me at my job, and still forced me to go in person is absolutely ridiculous. I had to tell my boss. I had to, one day before, actually, I didn't tell her. I did tell her one day before that I was starting to go in person, but I still went to work. I skipped out on my classes because I'm not going to miss work, which I love doing. I love going to KBC. It's the greatest place on earth. I wasn't going to... Classes do not come in front of my happiness, let me tell you. Hello, everybody. My name is JonahMemes, and I know that you guys just saw that very long clip from my live stream sort of explaining what was happening. Now I don't have the border anymore or the chat because this isn't live. This is a recording. And I just wanted to say thank you for getting this far into the video. I'm going to sort of explain what's happened since then. It's been 3 days, and let me tell you, or has it maybe more than that? I don't remember, but a lot has happened. Okay, we got lots of updates. We got some spicy stuff. All right, I'm going to jump right into it. So I went to class. I hated it, but I went to class because I had nothing else to do. In terms of I could do nothing else, because I didn't want to miss too much class. And first day of class goes good. I like my teacher. My teacher is good. At least my history teacher is good. No offense. I don't really like my English teacher that much because she takes forever to answer her emails, which is bad. In the meantime, I enjoyed history class. And you know what? I go to work as usual. I'm having fun, trying to deal with all the situations that I'm in, and we got a new situation as well to make this week go even worse, which I'm not gonna explain in this video. That's like a whole other video, because god dang, these past few weeks have not been good, I'm telling you. In the meantime, I'm gonna explain what's going on. My second day of history class, the boss guy, if you guys remember, the guy who yelled at me over the phone, Mr. Boss Guy comes in. All right, he's got that whack haircut. You know. And he comes in and he looks at me. He's like, I need to see you for a moment. And I'm like, oh no. In my mind, I'm like, crap. All right. I wonder what he's going to do. This is my second day of class, by the way. And I go to his office, which is like in a whole other hallway away. I walk in. He's like, have a seat. I'm like, I can stand. And he's like, have a seat. So I was like, all right, I'm going to sit down. And he tells me news which literally made time feel like it stopped. He tells me the worst news I could have ever heard. He tells me the person that is sitting next to you tested positive for coronavirus. I was like, not literally, but in my it literally I was like, but in my head I was like, I knew this was gonna happen. So the guy tested positive for coronavirus. I'm literally on the verge of tears. Okay, I'm like, why? Why is all this going on? This isn't fair, you know? I'm like, God dang it, bro. And why me? Literally, out of all the seats, why the guy right next to me? Seriously? So I was like, okay, this sucks a lot. And he was like, now, since the guy tested positive for coronavirus, I can put you online for 2 weeks. And you have to monitor yourself closely. I was like, please. He's like, but I didn't say please. He was like, but I need to know what you need to do, what you want to do. Because this is your responsibility. You know all that junk stuff that you saw on the phone, that kind of douchebag personality. And I was like, I would much rather do online, you know? And he was like, okay then. And I said, okay. And then I was walking back to class. I go in and I sit down. And I'm at the front, okay? I chose a seat at the very front to avoid everyone. And there was still someone who sat beside me. But I stared at my teacher. And, like, we had, like, that connection moment, you know? I just stared at him. I was like... And he knew. He knew what was going on, you know? So... I raised my hand a little bit after that, and I was like, can I call my mom? And I went outside of the classroom, and I called my mom. And because of the other thing that I mentioned earlier that is for a whole other video, I guess I got a lot of family stuff going on right now, and my mom didn't care that the guy had coronavirus, and I was like, can you come pick me up? I don't want to stay in here. And she was like, stay in there. You know, she pretty much forced me to stay in class. I was like, okay, that couldn't be any worse then, you know? I sit back in class, and the whole class time, I'm trying not to worry about it, but it's like, how can you not worry about something like this, you know? Because there's no point in worrying about something that you can't help. And in this situation, I cannot help anything. But I was still like, why? This week just can't get any better, you know? And it didn't, by the way. But that day, I went and I got tested for coronavirus, and God, I was really worried for a minute. Of course, the chance was kind of unlikely, but I was like, are you serious right now? Like, really? If I get coronavirus, it's all my guidance counselor's fault. It's literally all her fault. I know I said that I hated her guts, and I feel like I do, because she is not a good guidance counselor, as you guys know. But I know that this video is long as well. Just bear with me here. I got tested. Woke up this morning. We're good. It came back negative. Now, that doesn't mean I don't have it, because I've heard my friends tell me that there have been false negatives and false positives, but I feel great right now. I want to let you guys know I have shown no symptoms since contact. I feel normal, I guess, but then again, symptoms can sometimes not show up for 2 to 3 weeks, but I'm telling you right now, I took the test, it came back negative. I'm good to go. I got lucky with that. That's the one thing from this week that has been good, that it came back negative. Of course, the bad news was bad and it shouldn't have happened in the first place. But here's a video of me getting tested. Ta-da! That was so cool. All right, and you know what? That's the events. Let me tell you guys. Listen. Oh my God! Let me update you guys on the freaking. I went and submitted the paperwork for online school to the Board of Education in person, and it has been so many days. It's been over a week, and I still haven't gotten a response from them. Can you guys believe that? Can you? They're supposed to email you to let you know. It's been over a week. This thing is ridiculous. I hate my school. I hate my district. I hate my state. It's terrible. The education is horrible, and I could rant about this for hours. And I have on stream, which is the twitch.tv/JonahMemes, I think, maybe. I don't know if that's the right link, but check me out. In the meantime, that really sucks. There's also lots of things that also really suck, which I now have a new problem on my hands that is even worse than the one before. So I'm just having a great time, but at the end of the day, we all gotta stay positive. I'm gonna give you like a summary of the stream. Stay positive, stay awesome. I don't know what else. I was trying to give you guys a high five, but stay cool. Don't let a couple of absolutely horrendous events in your life prevent you from having fun, because life is supposed to be fun. And I'm gonna go to work soon, and I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna tell you guys I'm gonna have a lot of fun. I'm gonna talk to my coworkers. I'm gonna have a blast at work because I freaking love my job. I love my job. I love my job. And I love making YouTube videos, and I'm having a blast. Let me tell you, no matter how much poo-poo doo-doo you're trudging through, just know that later in life there won't be that much poo-poo doo-doo, but then it'll come back, and you know, it's like a wave. You know, it's like whoosh, lots of poo-poo doo-doo, but then not as much. You know me? That's how it's going on. But let me tell you, stay awesome. Venting is good. I use my YouTube channel to vent about a lot of stuff, and let me tell you, it's good. I love it. This isn't about the guidance counselor anymore, so I'm gonna end the video. But thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it, and thank you all for being there for me in this absolutely horrendous time, because I needed it. I love you all. That did not look right. I love you all. Thank you for being my viewers. Stay strong. Stay motivated. Stay big brain. Yeah. I'll see you guys in the next one. Sorry.